So last year, you and I, we did the interview through StoryCorps under my idea. I think that'd be cool since we were reunited. And so now we're going to make it a tradition. So, and this is going to be probably heavily edited. So this is what's nice. It's like we can record this and not have to worry about anything now.
Like nothing at all.
Exactly. No. Actually.
Well, actually.
Yeah. Right? So like a polished a turd.
Oh man, I love you.
And then it's like listening to last year's, or how it's like it was overtly like emotional, and there was that, that time, that space when somebody's talking and you're listening to it, and then there's this pause. And you're not there, you're not seeing it, but you hear it. So I just want to let you know. It's like, oh, okay, here come the emotions.
Right? It's a flowing. It's a tidal wave coming in. You better brace yourself.
Here we go. This is where it gets real.
Right? The tsunami of feelings. Yes, absolutely.
So, the one thing I want to tag and I want to share with people, and you and I know this is just the phenomenon of siblingship. So first off, just because you're siblings doesn't mean you get along. Okay, so that's one thing. We know this for true. Cain and Abel did not work out, right?
No, not for the better, anyway.
No, right. You can be related and not get along. So we can state that unequivocally. And so I'm not trying to sell anything here. So that's the one thing I'll clear out. Okay. So that said, then there's the other half. It's like siblings that do get along. Okay, that happens too as well, right? And so I've been witness to my two kids, Josh and Emma, how they grew up and how oddly they never fight, right? They just get along. And so that was new to me, right? Seeing that, I'm like, well, that's unusual. That's kind of cool, right? There might have a disagreement, but they have fun together. They hang out and they vibe off each other and they have fun together. So that happens too. Fair enough. What's different about me and you, we're that second half. However, we have all that with only less than 2 years together.
Right.
That's the thing. That's the thing that gets me. That's the thing that stops me in the tracks. And I think this is what's cool that people don't understand is that, or people should know this idea. It's like, what connects people? Is it the upbringing? I don't think so. Right. So you and I have the same father, and of course you're under the moniker we're half siblings, right?
Yeah, that doesn't count.
Right.
Because imagine if we were full-blooded siblings.
It's trouble.
The world might have imploded. I don't think that would have been in the universe's best interest.
So, right, and so sharing the same dad, of course, different mothers. And then our father not knowing of me. And then conversely, since he didn't know, the whole family didn't know.
Yeah, nobody knew.
And then I drop in 2 years ago, right? And saying, hi, guess what? And so that happens. But then when you and I connected, of course, we had that famous phone call the first night, that Friday that we connected. But then the thing I already told you about, the thing that I think about recently is when we were finally face to face and we were reunited, what was the first emotion? I already shared this with you. I just realized that it wasn't the tearful, oh my gosh, ugly cry. It wasn't that. I laughed my ass off.
It was like Christmas.
Right.
It was like Christmas. It was just so it was not just like Christmas, but like Christmas when you're a really little kid and you get that one present that you never ever in 1,000 years imagined that you would actually get.
No, that's the same emotion. It's like,
yes, right. Like, no way.
oh my gosh.
Right, exactly.
I got it. And we didn't have to do any prep work of trying to, so tell me about yourself so I can,
right.
Tell me about in year 3 in your decade. There was none of that. So there's something that's inherently that connects us, that we don't have to work. And so that's the other piece to it. And so then we've just been catching up, I guess, right? All those years we've lost. Whatever that is. And I can't even wrap my head. And here's the thing too about being an adoptee. There are adoptees that have gone through hard things. There have been adoptees that really struggle with depression. I mean, I struggle with depression. I've never really connected my depression with my adoption. It's just the reality of it, but it's not a depressing thing. It's a celebration. And then also there's this odd thing too for people who or siblings have been separated and are now reunited. There's this weird thing how time doesn't matter anymore. It's like once we were together, it's that time that was lost was regained immediately. And then you also shared with me the idea is that once we were reunited, is that empty space when I wasn't there, somehow you got that back, right?
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Thing, right? Yeah.
Yep.
And so even like you were sharing, the situations in your upbringing where it was hard experiences, it's like it's like, wait a minute, if I was there, that would have interceded and I would have done something for you. And then that made it better.
Yeah. Honestly. Well, and it also, it's almost like when being validated, just in the sense of like, yeah, that was wrong and somebody should have stood up, but nobody was there to stand up. Right. And just being validated in that sense of, if I was there, I would have stood up. And here's the thing, you don't even have to say that because I inherently know that. It is really interesting. It actually kind of brings me to think about like how twins are, in the sense of like they can almost read each other's minds, or even say, well, I believe that this is how so and so to react based on their character and all of the other responses that have ever happened since whatever situation it may be. But yeah, I think it's kind of interesting that even though we were a couple years apart, just a couple, and we technically, we don't have the same mothers, but it's almost like our father's genes were so strong that it ran right, right through us. In the sense of and
we know that scientifically because we saw the DNA samples too.
Like, exactly.
You're higher than what half siblings should be.
Right. So, and to me that's the weird thing is before we even really realized that or knew that, it's like we already knew that.